Life of Ty, Penguin Problems, Chapter 8. With my backpack over my shoulder, I walk past the beluga whale tank. I know I'm not supposed to go off on my own, but Lexi wasn't supposed to go to the gift shop either. But she did, and she won 2 dolphins. Even so, I'll get back before anyone notices. If anyone even does notice. A sign by one exhibit says that there are over 8 million gallons of water within the aquarium. That's a lot of water. The sign also says that if I look for a really long time into this particular tank, I might see a manta ray named Nandi. Nandi is the only manta ray in a U.S. aquarium, the sign says. I searched for Nandi. Lexi didn't see Nandi because Mrs. Hammerdorfer didn't take us this way. Maybe none of the other groups came here either. Maybe I'll be the only kid in the class to see Nandi. Seeing Nandi would be better than winning 2 dumb dolphins. Except Nandi doesn't show up. I peer into the tank until my head hurts, and then I decide I don't even like Nandi. I leave and look at some eels. They have no eyeballs. The jellyfish don't either. But they're pretty, how they blob about. I should go back to my group. Only the mean snake that was twisting in my stomach has turned into a gray day snake. Gray day snakes don't like happy kids who brag about winning dolphins. Gray day snakes like to be alone. Or maybe they like to be with penguins, because when I see a sign that says penguins, the snake in my stomach starts to feel less snaky. I'll visit the penguins and then I'll go back to the group. I follow the arrow that means this way for the penguins. It takes me to a tank, but the tank is empty, and in front of it's another sign. This one says, penguins are currently not in the exhibition tank due to construction. We apologize for the inconvenience. However, you can see the penguins up close and personal on one of our behind-the-scenes tours. Tickets on sale now. The penguins aren't in the tank. People have to buy tickets to see them? What a ripoff! Plus, it says tickets on sale now. But where are they on sale? I glance around. I don't see anyone, but I do see poles with velvety ropes between them, the kind for when people line up for things. Where the front of the line would be, there's a door. I go over to it. Hello, I say. No one answers. I put my hand in the door handle. I just put it there, that's all, except my hand decides to turn the handle, and the door opens. So I go in. If they didn't want me to, they should have locked it. At first, it's just another exhibit hall, just darker, and with no windows showing the outside world. Also, with no other people walking through it, just me. On both sides of the hall, there's stuff to look at, like coral reefs and shark jaws. I reach a metal staircase. I go up it. When I get to the top, I stop breathing. I'm above the beluga whale tank. I can look down into it, and I can see the beluga whales. They're in the bottomest corner of the tank. That's why we couldn't see them before, but I can see them now. And they glow. They're so white and lumpy and really weird looking, and not at all what you think of when you think of the word whale. Hi, beluga whales, I say quietly, waving at them. My heart is happier now. Then I spot something that makes my heart super happy. The penguins! I cross the whale viewing platform and go down a second set of stairs. And right in front of me is a pen full of penguins. They are so cute. There are 4 of them, a mommy and 3 babies, I think. They have water to play in and a squeaky toy shaped like a dog bone. I lean over the wall of the pen, and it's not very high, this wall. I mean, it's too high for a penguin to climb over, but not for a person. Probably the aquarium workers go in and do stuff, like clean up the penguin poop and give them fresh water. Probably they play with them too. If I was inside a pen of penguins, I'd play with them. I look from side to side. I'm the only human in here. One of the babies waddles over to me. His head is black, and so are the tips of his wings. His tummy is white. He is not like an eel or a jellyfish, because he does have eyeballs, and they're dark and shiny and gazing right at me. Pew, he says. I'm 99% sure he's saying hi, so I say hi back. He cocks his head and says, pew, pew. This time he's asking if I have any fish. I just know it. Maybe, because I'm secretly part penguin. I don't have any fish, since Mom didn't pack me any. Is there something else I could give him? Hold on, I say. I wiggle my backpack off my shoulder and get out what's left of my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I wish it was a peanut butter and jelly fish sandwich, but oh well. I rip off a piece, then stop. Is peanut butter poisonous to penguins? I don't think so. Jelly? How could jelly be poisonous? Bread? Nothing wrong with bread. So, okay, I toss the bite of my sandwich to my friend Pingy, which is what I've named the shiny-eyed penguin baby. He scoops it up with his orange beak and jerks his head as he swallows. He flaps his wings. Pew, pew! Hold your horses, Pingy, I say as I tear up another bite. It's coming. I toss it into the pen, and Pingy gobbles it up. He's so cute, and his brother and sister aren't playing with him, and his mom is doing something boring to her feathers. None of them is paying attention to Pingy at all. I think Pingy must have gotten some peanut butter stuck to the roof of his beak, because he goes lump, lump, and stretches his face out, kinda. That happens to me too. I get peanut butter stuck to the roof of my mouth and make lump sounds too. But I think this is Pingy's first time, because his eyes get big and he waddles from side to side. Pew, phew, he says. Wow, I think. Wow and wow and wow, because a part of me that understands penguin language knows exactly what Pingy is saying. He wants me to take him home. He also wants to get the peanut butter unstuck, but mainly he wants me to take him home. The other penguins don't care about him, and the aquarium people don't either, probably. Who cares about one little penguin when there are 8 million gallons of water full of eels and jellies and beluga whales? And if the beluga whales can hide, then Pingy can hide too. He doesn't have to be out in the open all the time, especially since the exhibit's closed off anyway. He could hide in my backpack, which is the exact right size for him. It would be cozy. I know. I lean over the railing and dangle my hand out. If Pingy comes over, that means he's saying, yes, please. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. There might be a voice in my head saying things like, I don't like. A voice like Mom's, kind of. Saying, don't you do it, Tybug. But I pretend not to hear it. I lean over the railing and reach out my hand. I'm breathing faster than normal. Pew, Pingy says. I hold still, even though the railing is digging into my ribs. Pingy waddles toward me. Pew! Maybe my fingers smell like peanut butter, because Pingy juts out his beak and nibbles them. Wham, 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 goes my heart, because he's saying, yes, please. He is. I scoop Pingy up, and he doesn't squirm. He snuggles up close and tries to wedge his beak up under my armpit. No, silly, I say, because I need to get him into my backpack. Pew! He says as I push him in. You have to be quiet, Kay. I zip up the backpack and leave a crack for air. Also, so that he can see me and not be scared. I'm scared, but I try not to be, and plus my whole body is tingling with excitement. I go through the door that says exit, and I'm back in the bright and crowded aquarium. I fast walk toward the food court, careful not to jostle Pingy. Ty Perry, a deep voice says. I jump. In front of me stands a guard. He's tall and has huge shoulders, and he's wearing a uniform. And he's got a walkie-talkie. Are you Tyler Perry? I start to nod, then stop because he's freaky. Oh, thank God, Mrs. Weber says, rushing over. Ty, where have you been? The guard raises his walkie-talkie. Found the kid, he says into it. Over. From the mic comes a crackly response. Safe and sound, over. The guard looks down at me. I really hope Pinji keeps quiet. Yeah, he's fine, the guard says into the walkie-talkie. To me he says, Kid, listen. You can't go off like that. I nod a lot. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so sorry for the trouble, Mrs. Weber tells the guard. Gotta teach kids to follow the rules, the guard says. Thank you, sir, Mrs. Weber says again. In a different voice altogether, she says, Come on, Ty. Field trip's over. She's mad. I've never seen her this mad before. Well, except at Taylor, sometimes. But she's never been mad at me. I try to explain. She grabs my arm and pulls me toward the rest of the class. I don't want to hear it. I'm extremely disappointed in you. I dig my fingernail into my thumb and press hard. This is the worst field trip ever. Well, except for Pinji. But Mrs. Weber would be even madder if she knew Pinji was in my backpack. So, do I tell her? I don't want to. But if I don't, won't she be even madder when she finds out? If she finds out. Except Mrs. Weber is pretty good at finding things out. When someone does something bad, Mrs. Weber pretty much always finds out. When we reach the rest of my class, everyone stares at me like, ooh, you're in trouble. Mrs. Weber, I say. She cuts me off. No, I'm going to call your mom. She can deal with you. But get with your group. We're leaving. I go to Lexi and Breezy and Mrs. Hammerdorfer. I use my brain power to tell Pinji to not wiggle or say pew. Want to see my dolphins? Lexi asks. I won 2 of them. She thrusts the fuzzy blue one at me. You can touch it if you want. I frown. Lexi broke the rules, and she won 2 stuffed dolphins. I broke the rules, and I got yelled at by a guard and Mrs. Weber. Touch it, Lexi commands, wiggling the stuffed dolphin in my face. I touch it. It feels nothing like a real live sea creature.